I'm Dan Puplett. I'm the tutor for the wildlife tracking course. I'm here at Kindrogan. Wildlife tracking is an age-old skill and one that is still really relevant and useful, particularly for conservation and environmental education, as well as generally for understanding the natural world in more depth. On the wildlife tracking course, we look in detail at a range of track and sign left by all sorts of wildlife, including birds, mammals, amphibians, reptiles, and even invertebrates. We use a variety of effective and often fun methods for learning how to identify and interpret even quite subtle signs. We also look at the bigger picture, connecting our understanding of the landscape with these subtle clues. It's a lot like detective work. We use detailed observation and deduction to build a picture of what animals have been doing. We ask and try and answer the questions who, what, when, where, why and how, and this can lead to some fascinating discoveries. People come away with more confidence in their ability to recognise the clues left behind by wildlife. One of the key themes of the wildlife tracking course is that by studying tracking, we develop a greater understanding of many different aspects of the natural world. When we start unravelling a tracking mystery, before long we have to understand more about trees, plants, weather patterns and more. Learning to track helps us to become better naturalists all round. We put out various kinds of track traps, things like sand traps and ink traps. The sand trap is really useful because we can bait it and then get detailed prints of various animals that live around Kindrogan. And by doing this we can study them in real depth, looking at the fine nuances of the different toe arrangements and the different pads on the feet, and so that helps us to get really familiar with individual footprints. By getting this familiar with the tracks, that means that when we look at tracks on much harder substrate, we can identify the different features even if we've only got a partial track, and that really builds confidence in sign recognition. Ink traps are really useful and quite fun to use because they help us to pick up really fine footprints, things like the footprints of mice, voles and shrews, and then we can study them in real detail, looking at the features of the footprint and again getting familiar with recognising these quite subtle signs. The course is suitable for anyone, whether you're a complete beginner or a professional ecologist, because the teaching methods are designed to help us look and inquire in more and more depth, and there's never really any end to how much we can see.